The first, all of them on the road, including stops in Chicago and Cleveland. This one's for you in Philly. You can see that one Wednesday night, 7:30 Eastern on ESPN. You can also see them Saturday against the Celtics, 8:30 Eastern on ABC. The Lakers are actually favored in all 6 of these upcoming road games, but that one against the Celtics is perhaps, at least according to the Basketball Power Index, going to be the closest one.
The Jazz are right there with the Lakers at the top of the table in the West. Donovan Mitchell hung 36 on the Pelicans in Salt Lake City on Thursday night, helping Utah hand New Orleans a 129-118 loss, giving Utah its 7th straight win. And that's the longest streak for any team in the NBA so far this season. They haven't trailed in the fourth quarter at all during this run. Zion had 27 in the loss.
We're not going to get to see the Grizzlies in action until at least Wednesday, January the 27th. The NBA has postponed the team's next 3 games, and it's a bit of a shift in how the league is handling COVID-19, similar to what the NFL did when it shut down team facilities. The NBA is now shutting down entire teams to allow for the entire team to isolate, regardless of contact tracing.
Kevin Porter Jr. was upset when the Cavaliers gave his locker room space to newly acquired Taurean Prince. Kevin Porter Jr. is going to be in a different locker room space now. Cavs are trading him to the Rockets for a top 55 protected second-round pick. That, according to...
Here's James. He had it deflected. Here's LeBron for 3. Now this basket counts and a foul. James knocks it down. The Lakers defeat the Bucks in Milwaukee.
All right, maybe an NBA preview. Maybe. Lakers hand the Bucks their 2nd straight loss as we say good morning to NBA analyst Tim Legler. And Giannis, Tim, had 25 points, 12 rebounds in that loss, but he also committed 9 turnovers. What'd you see from him?
Yeah, they had a lot of issues in this one, really, across the board. They had a hard time guarding Anthony Davis in the post. LeBron James went nuts from the three-point line. Overall, they shot it well, but that could all be overcome if Giannis has a spectacular night. Unfortunately, that wasn't the case. I just saw a guy that looked too intent on trying to come out and impose his will in the game with force. And when you do that, sometimes you get yourself in tough spots. And these offensive fouls really hurt him all night long. He committed 4 of these, and obviously those go on your turnover total on the stat sheet, which led to 7 first-half turnovers in the first half. And then even when he had an opportunity in the second half when they came back and they made it a game, he had some struggles offensively. Took a really ill-advised three-pointer. He comes up short on this jumper right here. He also missed a couple very important free throws down the stretch. And you don't ever question Giannis's heart and desire, but sometimes that force doesn't translate to playing smart. I don't think he played a very smart game. And as a result, on a night when the Lakers really did everything well, the only way you could overcome that is for the MVP to go off. And he really struggled offensively throughout this one. And as a result, the Lakers continue to be undefeated on the road.
It's early in the season to go ahead and look at the standings here if you're the Milwaukee Bucks, but maybe there's a little bit of rearview mirror watching when you see how the Nets have improved themselves. Brooklyn has a rematch with Cleveland tonight, and the Cavs beat them on Wednesday night, first game for the Big Three there. What's the biggest adjustment that you want to see from the Nets on offense tonight in that rematch?
Well, look, they had great stat lines individually, all 3 of their star players, but I just don't think that's a sustainable way to win in this league, just making great shots individually. So James Harden was the guy that had the ball predominantly at the point guard position. It seemed like it was his show, and that surprised me a little bit because they just left it in his hands on what they were going to do possession by possession. I would love to see, and now that they've had a little bit more time together, maybe a practice, a walk through a film session, get some more sets where multiple guys touch the ball on the same possession and you run action that makes it really difficult to defend and you're not so predictable. That's the reason you have Kyrie Irving and Kevin Durant out there with you, rather than just give them the ball and let them ISO and go one-on-one and make great shots. How about we get the ball moving from side to side and get defenses to really have to communicate against 3-star players. So let's see them initiate the offense a little bit more with KD or Kyrie maybe off that first pass. I think they'll be much harder to guard. But again, their defense is really where they have the most room for improvement here. And that's ultimately what's going to determine if they can win a championship.
Yeah, any improvement is more than 0, right? If you actually have a little bit of defense and you don't give up 42 to Colin Sexton, we'll see what he does tonight as well. Tim Legler with the Inside.
Told you they were undefeated on the road. They still are that. 8-0 on the road. Perfect to start the season.
We know it's going to be very competitive, and we know it's going to be very challenging for us. So it was our job to just come out and try to implement our style to the game, and for me personally to do everything it needs to be done on the floor, both offensively and defensively, to help us win this game. So you live with the results after that.
I think I suck right now. I'm not making shots. I'm not making free throws. But I think tonight my aggressiveness, just being in the post and getting to the paint, allow guys to get open. That's the only way I feel like, I'm going to get out of this, funk or whatever, that I'm in.
There's a bit of a MVP on MVP crime in that game because LeBron is now 16-5 all-time in his career against Giannis. Among MVPs to play against each other at least 20 times, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar's 18-5 mark against Hakeem Olajuwon is the only better record in NBA history. LeBron could actually tie that if the Lakers beat the Bucks in the next two games against them. Of note, though, there are none meetings on the schedule right now between the Lakers and the Bucks, at least through the schedule, which is only through March the 3rd.
None meetings.
None.
Look out. In the rearview mirror, what do they say? Objects are closer than they appear.
Fact.
Salt Lake streaking are the Jazz near the top of the table in the Western Conference, thanks to that man, Donovan Mitchell. They got the Pelicans in town.
Oh,
Mitchell, that's a nice pass. Nice move, nice pass to Derek Favors. Mitchell would score 21 points, went 7 for 11 from the floor, 4 for 4 from 3. Mitchell and the Jazz have a 39-26 advantage second quarter alone. Now, Jazz up, they get 5 points, third quarter. Mitchell screen, triple, got it. Said every chance I got, I just kept putting pressure on the defense. And his coach, Quinn Snyder, he's talking about, listen, he just took what the defense gave him and they shared the basketball. That's a nice pass to Royce O'Neal. Cross court, whip it. It was good. Jazz up 9. And then you find Joe Ingles. That's another, off the dribble, one-handed pass to Jingles all the way to the rim. 129-118. The Jazz make it 7 in a row. Of note during this streak, they have yet to trail in the fourth quarter, at all. Through this run. And it's thanks to the three ball. Okay, the outside has been strong for them. Utah's been making threes at a rate we've never seen before. Jazz now have 248 made threes this season. That's the most through 15 games by any team in NBA history. And now to a man who made just his second field goal attempt outside the paint last night. Zion-tific? Well, yeah, we're proud of that. Second spectrum, here we go. Pelicans defense continuing to struggle, but Zion on the offensive end has been quite strong. For the first time this season, he made a 3. That's a departure from his usual spot, as we said, around the basket. Coming into Thursday, he had an average shot distance of just over 4 feet, third shortest in the NBA, trailing only Clint Capella and Rudy Gobert. But as expected, Zion would find his way back to the paint, where he continues to dominate. He's averaging almost 9 layups and dunks per game this season. It's on pace to be the most by any player in a season since Second Spectrum began tracking 8 years ago.
Patrick Mahomes' watch continues as the Chiefs get set for the AFC title game against the Bills. And Mahomes is giving us something to actually watch because he's practicing. In fact, he's taking the majority of first-team snaps, even if he is still in concussion protocol. Not to go all Magic 8-ball on you, but is Mahomes going to play on Sunday? All signs currently point to yes.
Pat looked good out there. He did a nice job when he was doing it, and looks like he's moving around well. He feels good. So it's just important that we follow the protocol, and that's what we're doing.
He looks like Pat to me. So he's been great in meetings. He's fun. He's energetic. So you can always count on Pat being Pat.
He still has to proceed through a certain timeline, though, and we say good morning to Jeff Darlington for more on that. What needs to happen for Mahomes to actually play on Sunday?
Well, Nicole, by all means, the team does anticipate that Patrick Mahomes will play on Sunday, but you just did hear from Andy Reid mentioning the fact that he still needs to go through concussion protocol. So where exactly is he? The NFL has 5 stages to that concussion protocol. He did practice with his helmet on in limited capacity and took most of the starter reps. That puts him between phase 4 and phase 5, really. Now, what we anticipate to happen today is that the trainer for the Chiefs will sign off on Mahomes to say that he is symptom-free and has returned to baseline. At that point, it will be up to an independent neurological examiner to give the final blessing to get him back on the field. So once that happens, that's the key here. The Chiefs can say as much as they want. Mahomes can say that he's feeling great, but not until that independent neurological examiner takes a look at him and says that he's good will we not be guaranteed that Mahomes is on that field on Sunday.
And if he does start, Jeff Mahomes will be the youngest quarterback to start in 3 conference championship games. Thank you. It's awfully dark by him this morning.
Well, it's early, morning. Let's get to a nice night at the office for one player in women's hoops in the Big Ten. Naz Hillman, undefeated, 11th ranked Michigan on the road, taking on number 17 Ohio State. Hillman, with Michigan trailing by 9 early on, she was busy. She's sitting on 14 in the game so far. You split the double team there. That's strong. She leads the Big Ten in scoring. 26